Yo, what's up guys, hope you guys are doing good. So today we are going to see what if Naruto got harem with Femme Itachi part 2. Hope you will enjoy this video, so before we start please like the video and subscribe to our channel and hit bell notification, it motivates me to upload more fanfics for my lovely audience. So let's get started. Hello again everyone, I'm sorry I haven't added new chapters mostly because I'm super lazy and well yay that's basically it, but I will try to put up a new one. Don't worry, it's not like I'm stopping it anytime soon, I'm liking this story too much to make it stop. And I like typing for you guys girls. It was 2 weeks before the Jonin exams in the Hidden Leaf Village were going to start, and Naruto was training with his two Heims who he made his mates since he loved them both very much. As he was training, both Tayuya and Kin came into the training room where Orochimaru, male form, and Natsuki were teaching some of the fighting techniques and jutsus. Naruto turned around and saw both Tayuya and Kin watching him train, so he decided to ask Orochimaru for a break so he could see what they wanted. Orochimaru nodded her head and told him, 10 minutes then back to training. Naruto nodded and went to talk to Kin and Tayuya. Kin and Tayuya saw Naruto approaching them. Hey Kin, Tayuya, why are you two doing down here? Asked Naruto. Tayuya looked at Kin and saw that she was nervous, so she decided to speak up for her. Hey Naruto, do you mind if we be your partners for the Jonin exams? Kin was supposed to ask you, but she was scared that you would reject us if she asked. Naruto smiled and answered, I would be happy to have two of my best friends join me in the Jonin exams. Kin was very happy to hear that, so she ran up to Naruto and gave him a hug, which Naruto gave back full-heartedly. Naruto always liked Kin because she was a sweet girl and he considered her to be like his sister. He also found Tayuya to be a strong-willed girl that always stands up for Kin, and that's what he loves about her. To him they are both like family and he would be happy to call them family. Even though Naruto didn't love them in a romantical way, to Orochimaru it looked otherwise, and she couldn't help but grit her teeth a little because she wouldn't admit it, but she was jealous of King's closeness to Naruto at the moment. Natsuki was having the same thoughts going through her head, but she hid it better than Orochimaru. 10 minutes passed and Orochimaru couldn't take him spending so much time with her two subordinates. She was extremely possessive of Naruto, and the only other person besides her that she would allow Naruto spend time with is Natsuki. Naruto, it's time to get back into training. Naruto nodded and said his goodbyes to both Kin and Tayuya as they left. Natsuki decided to try something different with Naruto. Naruto, I want you and Orochimaru-chan to spar. But this time attack like you mean to kill. Naruto was going to argue, but the look from both Orochimaru and Natsuki made him shut up right away. Naruto stood 10 feet away from his sensei and mate. He looked at Natsuki because she was going to give them a signal on when to start. As Natsuki put her hand down, Naruto had no idea what hit him because all he realized was that he was inside a wall with a hurt stomach and a giggling Orochimaru in her female form. Orochimaru saw Naruto stare at her all surprised, which made her giggle again. Naruto was about to ask her how she did that, but Orochimaru beat him to it. Remember Naruto, I seal some of my strength when I'm in my male form. Naruto smiled and got back up because he knew this was going to be a fun fight. As Naruto got up, Orochimaru got in her stance ready for any attack that he would try to dish out on her. But instead she saw him just start walking towards her, which got her wondering what he was going to do. Orochimaru was about to attack until a bunch of snakes wrapped around her body and started to constrict her. She saw the Naruto in front of her just vanish into smoke and concluded that it was a shadow clone. When did he have the time to make one of those, she thought. Naruto learned how to do a Rasengan with one hand after a lot of practice and charged it up while his snakes were constricting Orochimaru. Orochimaru smiled at Naruto's attempt because she knew from the start that he might dish out a strong technique, so she made a precaution. Naruto finished charging up his Rasengan and used his new speed to appear right behind Orochimaru with a charged up Rasengan, and he slammed it into her back. Naruto was hoping he didn't hurt her too much, but that train of thought didn't last long because he felt a stabbing pain on the side of his back. Naruto turned around only to find Orochimaru's kusanagi stabbed into his side. Naruto tried not to pay too much attention to the wound because he saw Orochimaru appear from the ground and right away she threw a right punch. Naruto tried to block it, but the pain on his right side was too much, so his guard loosened and she sent him flying into the wall again, but this time it wasn't a clone. Naruto started getting excited from the fighting and Orochimaru felt the spike in chakra, so she got even more prepared since now he might be using the Nine Tails chakra. Before Orochimaru could register what happened, she ended up smashed face first into the ground, and what made it worse was what she heard next. Flaming Fox Wave. Orochimaru widened her eyes and used a Earth clone to switch places before she got hit by that attack. Naruto watched with slight cautiousness and waited for an attack. As he waited, he noticed that no attack was coming and concluded that he must have knocked Orochimaru out, but once he put his guard down, Orochimaru took that chance to attack, and all Naruto heard was, "Wind style." Great breakthrough. All Naruto could do was widen his eyes at the huge amount of wind coming his way. As the wind made its way towards him, Naruto smiled and used his Nine Tails chakra, which caused his eyes to change blood red with black slit pupils, and then said, "Wind style." Great breakthrough. Naruto knew that he could not win against Orochimaru without relying on some of his mate's chakra. As both of their jutsus made contact, it made a giant wind explosion. But Naruto didn't wait for Orochimaru to attack him. And he rushed inside the destruction to catch Orochimaru off guard, but it seemed that Orochimaru had the same idea because they both met halfway and Naruto was caught off guard, which Orochimaru took full advantage of and used her multiple hidden shadow snake hands to constrict Naruto, and before he could escape she used her 5-element seal on Naruto, which caused all the Nine Tails chakra to recede right back into his body, and the sudden power drainage caused Naruto to be knocked out. Naruto woke up about 2 hours after being knocked out. He looked around and found himself inside the medical room, and he tried to move but found himself unable to because Natsuki was draped around him with her beautiful fluffy tails and ears out. Naruto laughed a little, but that laughing stopped right away with a blush because she moved right on top of him, and he right away noticed she was naked and her perky breasts were right on his shirtless chest, which didn't help with his blush because it only intensified until he got a bloody nose. Naruto tried to get out of her grasp but found it impossible because she wrapped her tails around his body, which constricted his movement. Naruto was stuck and the tails weren't helping him because all they caused was him to become drowsy. Before Naruto went back to sleep, he leaned into Natsuki's face and planted a nice kiss on her forehead. Natsuki awoke to a nice feeling and found Naruto hugging her, which made her even happier, and she decided to go back to sleep. Orochimaru came into the medical room only to find a naked Natsuki and a peaceful-looking Naruto. The sight of Naruto sleeping made Orochimaru happy, but the sight of Natsuki sleeping with Naruto made her kind of jealous. Orochimaru decided to lock the room door, and she then transformed into her female form and got undressed while crawling into the bed that Naruto and Natsuki were sleeping in at the moment. 2 weeks later. The days gone by relatively normal. All they did was train, and after they thought Naruto trained enough, they then trained both Kin and Tayuya so they could both be helpful to Naruto in becoming a Jonin. Orochimaru put on the Hokage outfit and made her way towards the Hidden Leaf with her bodyguards in Naruto's group. As Orochimaru made her way towards Hidden Leaf Village with her personal bodyguard, who was Natsuki, or also known as the Kitsune Anbu, and Naruto by her side as well as his teammates. Natsuki stopped suddenly, which got Orochimaru on high alert and Naruto on guard as well as the other 5 sound ninja that were traveling with them. Natsuki yelled all of a sudden, "Get down!" As everyone did that, a bunch of shuriken and kunai were seen flying overhead. When everyone got back up, Orochimaru noticed she lost 3 out of the 5 ninja that volunteered to travel with her. Before Orochimaru met Naruto, she wouldn't have cared, but Naruto's caring personality warmed her dark heart, and now she was angry at her men being killed right before her eyes. Right when Orochimaru was about to tell the hidden ninja to show themselves, 10 ninjas with Anbu masks appeared and spoke. "Naruto Uzumaki, you will be coming with us. Our master has ordered us to take you in, and if you resist we will use force." Naruto wasn't happy to hear that. But what really set him off was what they said next. "Orochimaru, our master requested us to bring you back because he found out your secret. So do you mind dropping the henge before we take you to Danzo-sama, and have you breed powerful children for us?" Orochimaru sighed and dropped her henge to show a beautiful woman with black hair and yellow eyes with black slit pupils. One of the root Anbu decided to speak up. "Very good, now if you would go." he didn't get to finish because Naruto killed him. The other 9 root Anbu turned around only to see Naruto in his first-tailed form. They froze because the amount of killing intent and bloodlust in the air made them want to get away from the source even if Danzo trained them to be fearless and emotionless. Naruto turned around with his glare which caused the root Anbu to step back subconsciously since they saw were the blood-red eyes with black slits. When they were prepared to attack Naruto they hesitated because Naruto started to speak in a demonic voice. How dare you threaten my mate, how dare you threaten her in front of me? Don't expect mercy because I will assure you now that none of you are leaving here alive. As Naruto said that he let out a monstrous roar which shook the ground because of the intense red chakra that was surrounding Naruto. Both Orochimaru and Natsuki were watching and they both had different reactions to what Naruto said. Natsuki was heating up all over and staring at Naruto with lust in her eyes, but she was also jealous because it wasn't her that he was getting angry for. It was Orochimaru and she knew that if she was in the same position as Orochimaru, Naruto would act same way but she still couldn't help but be jealous of Orochimaru at the moment. Orochimaru on the other hand had a wide smile on her voice and her eyes also showed lust towards Naruto. Damn it Naruto, if you keep this up I won't stop myself from loving you even more if that even possible, she thought. She was also thinking of different ways to give him a thank you present that she was sure he would enjoy. As the root Anbu waited for Naruto to make a move they didn't expect Jiraiya of the 3 Sannin arriving. Jiraiya looked at the scene before him and noticed that the Anbu that were attacking Orochimaru's group were root and he right away guessed what happened. Before one of the root Anbu could speak up, Jiraiya appeared right next to one of the Anbu and shoved a Rasengan right into the root Anbu's stomach causing that Anbu to be sent flying. Jiraiya then spoke up. You are in violation of Hokage's orders and I have permission to get rid of any unwanted pests that are trying to stop the Otokage. The Anbu didn't give any response all they did was they split up and 4 of them attacked Naruto and the other 4 attacked Jiraiya. Orochimaru was going to step in but decided to let Naruto handle it since she wanted to watch her knight in shining armor protect her. Naruto was still in his first tail form. As the 4 root Anbu attacked him he smirked which looked extremely demonic and the next thing he said caught the Anbu off guard because they expected him to be out of control in the fox form. Fox Fire Devastation. 2 of the root Anbu then did the respected hand signs, Fire Style, Fireball Jutsu, while the other 2 split up to Naruto's left and right hoping to do a pincer attack on him. The plan they made didn't go like they wanted because Fox Fire Devastation was more powerful than the 2 fireballs which caused the 2 root Anbu that challenged him to be blown away. They weren't killed but they sure were injured. As the 2 root Anbu were about to attack Naruto, they were surprised again when Naruto roared again but this time a second tail formed and his chakra started to whiplash even more and his bloodlust increased as well causing the 2 root Anbu to stop momentarily which gave Naruto a perfect amount of time to kill them. The root Anbu on the left didn't even have enough time to react to the danger in front of him because the moment he saw Naruto with his 2-tailed form in front of him his arms were already on the ground and the blood was gushing out of his 2 stumps. Naruto then turned around but got hit by a fireball. The root Anbu thought he killed him but what he saw next scared even the emotionless killing machine. Naruto was just standing there like the fireball never even hit him in the first place. Naruto turned around and his gaze alone made the root Anbu freeze on the spot. The root Anbu tried to move but realized his body had other plans. Naruto smiled seeing the root Anbu being affected by his bloodlust. Naruto then held his hand out and the root Anbu noticed a ball of demonic-looking chakra compressing into his hand. Naruto smirked and vanished out of sight and arrived right in front of the root Anbu jamming his 2-tailed Rasengan right into the Anbu's stomach causing a lot of blood to flow everywhere because the Rasengan literally was slashing the Anbu apart. Jiraiya defeated his enemies with ease not like Naruto but close to it and saw Orochimaru approach the 2-tailed Naruto and he was about to jump in and stop Naruto from killing her but instead he saw something that surprised him. Sorry forget to tell that Naruto will be slightly off but he can still be defeated. I hope you liked it because I had a hard time writing since I had to reread everything to remember what I was writing about. So if you review please don't hate because a hater will get more hate from the writer and I write for both the readers and myself to avoid a headache so yay, good night. Orochimaru saw Naruto kill those root Anbu for her and it made her happy because it showed her how much he cared for her safety. She walked up to the two-tailed Naruto who was looking at her the whole time and she embraced him. Now usually the Kyuubi's demonic chakra would burn anyone, but since Orochimaru was his mate she was not affected by the demonic chakra and instead she felt extremely safe and warm when Naruto hugged her back. Jiraiya for all he knew was surprised beyond anything. He expected Naruto to lash out towards Orochimaru because of the uncontrollable Kyuubi chakra but instead he looked completely fine. He decided to get some answers and the only person or demon in his case that had the answers was the Kyuubi herself. Naruto saw Jiraiya approach Natsuki but he didn't pay much mind to it since he trusted his godfather. At first Naruto wanted nothing to do with him but after all the training and the attempts at forgiveness that Jiraiya kept trying to do, he decided to throw him a bone. Naruto deactivated his demon fox cloak and waited for Orochimaru to do the body count because of the apparent sneak attack that was orchestrated by Danzo. Orochimaru was looking over the apparent loss of life and frowned. She lost 3 Jonin and 2 Chunin shinobi, Kunoichi, and she only has 2 Jonin left, not including her fox Anbu Natsuki, and her Chunin Naruto and his 2 teammates Kin and Tayuya. Orochimaru sighed and decided to keep going because she did promise Hiruzen Sarutobi that she and Naruto would greet the old man. Orochimaru put her genjutsu back on because she still didn't want to expose her true gender until it was a good time or until she felt completely safe from Danzo's conniving. Everyone checked up on each other. They decided to keep going to the Chunin exams. Jiraiya stuck around for mostly 2 reasons. One reason was that he wanted to keep his godchild safe even though said godchild was trained by a Sannin and by the Kyuubi. The second reason, which is more perverted, was that the Kyuubi, also known as Natsuki, is extremely hot and he wanted to use the romance between Naruto, Natsuki and Orochimaru to write his next book. Jiraiya tried to introduce Naruto to the magical world of Ika Ika Paradise. Let's just say his mates were far from happy seeing such perverted material near their Naruto-kun. Everyone got into formation. Orochimaru was in the middle while Natsuki was next to her and Naruto was with Jiraiya up front while Kin and Tayuya were in the back with the other shinobi Kunoichi. The trip took a good 2 days but they finally arrived at Konoha. Naruto frowned when they got to the front entrance because this place didn't give him many fond memories. Both Orochimaru and Natsuki saw this and frowned too because they don't like seeing their lover sad. The 2 Chunin gate guards saw Orochimaru and right away went into their combat stances, but that was stopped once Jiraiya told them that Orochimaru had special permission from the Hokage to be here, so they reluctantly dropped their stances and went back to dreading their job. Naruto snorted seeing the 2 Chunin being lazy when they should be doing their job because by the looks of it anyone could sneak in without much difficulty. Orochimaru decided to voice her opinion to Jiraiya while Natsuki stayed quiet. Jiraiya, I have noticed that this village has been becoming very lax in both shinobi kunoichi quality as well as security. Jiraiya looked down because he didn't have anything to say since he knew that was all correct. He tried to voice those opinions before to Sarutobi but the council always shut all those ideas down. Jiraiya was ashamed to admit but Konoha was just a shadow of its former strength because the civilian council pretty much controlled all shinobi kunoichi matters. Some of the civilians were looking at Naruto trying to figure out who that was while others were noticing the fox Anbu next to Hokage. To them it was weird seeing an Anbu with 2 fox-like ears above the head as well as 9 tails. One of the civilians came to the conclusion that is the Kyuubi and yelled it out. This became a mass hysteria of people yelling things like, "It's the demon," and, "It's come to destroy us like all those years ago," or the more popular one, "Kill the demon." Naruto had enough of this and yelled in a demonified voice. "The next person to call my mate in, it, will suffer the consequences." The other civilians finally recognized who that was and started yelling, "The demon child," or, "Kill the demon child." That didn't go very well with Natsuki because next thing everyone knew they could barely stand with the ki that was radiating off of Natsuki. "Do you humans want me to destroy your village? Because if you do, you're doing a very good job of making me angry. How dare you scum call my Naruto a demon? He is the most kind-hearted person that I know even though he went through the crap that this village caused to him." One of the villagers yelled out, "The demon is probably weak, and who would care if we got rid of the demon child?" Natsuki was about to retort until Orochimaru stopped her. Look here, you scum. Naruto is protected by all of Otogakure, and I will not allow one of my shinobi being harmed because you scum can't get rid of your unjustified hate. The villagers were taken back by Orochimaru's statement because they thought that the Otokage would just hand over the demon brat, but instead they are protecting it. Some of the villagers started moving away while the majority still had their weapons up, hoping to scare them to the point of handing over the demon brat so they could finish what the fourth started. The villagers were about to attack until some Anbu arrived at the location that this was going on at. By the order of the Hokage, you are demanded to disperse this crowd. Failure to do so will get you thrown into TI or execution, one of the Anbu said to the crowd of villagers. The crowd soon dispersed because none of them wanted to get executed or tortured. Naruto watched as a purple-haired Anbu walked up to Orochimaru, and he could tell even without the Anbu having to remove her mask that the Neko Anbu was scowling at Orochimaru. Neko went up to Orochimaru and had to hold herself back from grabbing her sword and attacking Orochimaru right on the spot because of what he did to poor Anko. Neko treated Anko like a sister, and seeing the person that caused her so much pain right in front of her and not allowed to kill him just doesn't sit right with her. While Neko was leading the group to the Hokage building, Naruto noticed Orochimaru's sadness from the mating mark. Naruto walked up to Orochimaru and smiled to her, which made her day because she was still feeling sad from how she left Anko to the scum of this village. When they finally arrived at the Hokage building, Orochimaru turned around and told Yuya and Kin to go and find a place to stay at while they take care of business. Both girls nodded with the two Jonin sound guards that were with them and went to find a place to stay. Orochimaru then motioned Naruto to follow her so they could talk to the Hokage. Orochimaru and Naruto made their way to the Hokage's office but were stopped because of the lady at the front desk. The lady saw Naruto and right away scowled. "What are you doing in here, demon?" The moment that woman said that, she forfeited her life because that's what Orochimaru thought. Orochimaru right away lifted the woman by the neck and was going to choke her to death, but the Hokage walking out of his office to check to see if Naruto and Orochimaru have arrived ruined her plan. The Hokage saw Orochimaru holding his receptionist by her neck and right away assumed that she made Orochimaru mad somehow. Hiruzen Sarutobi sighed and asked Orochimaru nicely to put down his receptionist, but the moment she did that, the Hokage regretted it because his receptionist decided to attack Naruto, thinking that everyone will snap out of the demon child's mind control. Orochimaru saw the aggression towards her Naruto and right away summoned one of her poisonous snakes to bite the woman on the neck. The lady got a look of horror on her face once she realized that a snake bit her, and one look at Orochimaru's face told her that snake was poisonous. She turned around and tried to beg for the antidote from the Hokage, but all she saw was disappointment, and right when she was about to ask Orochimaru the same question, the poison killed her and she fell face first onto the floor. Hiruzen then told Naruto and Orochimaru to meet him inside his office while motioning the Anbu to take care of the body. When they both got inside the Hokage's office, Orochimaru asked the Hokage to put privacy seals up. Sarutobi sighed and motioned his Anbu to leave the office and put up some privacy seals so they could talk in private. The Hokage was about to stop talking until a flaming shunshin appeared in the middle of his office, which alerted him, but one look from both Naruto and Orochimaru told him not to worry. The Hokage watched and saw a woman with a fox mask appear out of the flames and assumed right away that was the Kyuubi, which was pretty obvious with her fox ears and 9 beautiful tails swishing around in the open. Natsuki right away saw Naruto and jump into his arms to hug the living life out of him, which was pretty funny for the Hokage to watch. Sarutobi decided to interrupt the moment for more pressing issues. "It's nice to see you happy, Naruto, but I wanted to have a talk to you and Orochimaru." Naruto nodded, but decided to ask, "Do you mind if Natsuki stays here?" Sarutobi smiled and answered, "Not at all, Naruto. I don't want to kick out someone you love." Naruto smiled happily, which also made Orochimaru and Natsuki smile. Somewhere else, Yuya and Kin were walking around since they had time to kill after finding a place to stay at, and they decided to check out the ramen place that Naruto always bragged about. As they walked, they discussed the upcoming Jonin exams. They were rudely interrupted by a loud screeching noise. "What are you sound sluts doing here?" Yuya and Kin saw the pink-haired thing and right away remembered her from how Naruto described her. Flashback 1 year ago. Naruto and Natsuki finished sparring and Naruto had free time, so he decided to go see what Tayuya and Kin were up to since they were going to be a team. Kin saw Naruto enter the room and she put her book about genjutsu down to see what he wanted. Tayuya watched as Naruto sat down in a chair and asked, "Do you need something, shithead?" Naruto just smiled at her colorful language and answered, "Yes, I wanted to tell you too why I left Konoha." After about 30 minutes, Tayuya had her mouth open but couldn't say anything to the cruel treatment that the village gave to Naruto. Kin on the other hand couldn't stop crying because here was the person who saved her and she found out that his life was a living hell. Naruto also decided to tell them about his friends, since they might encounter them when they go to Konoha. Naruto explained how his friends are like from Sakura being a complete and useless fangirl for the last Uchiha, to the arrogance of Sasuke Uchiha and how he always gets what he wants but still wants more. Naruto also told them that he had the pleasure of meeting Kakashi Hatake when he was out getting ramen, and let's just say after meeting him he wished he never did because he told Naruto, "You should be honored to talk to Sasuke since you're just a clanless nobody. Your future as a shinobi is very small compared to Sasuke." After he said that, he told Naruto to have a good day and left him sad and angry. After Naruto was done telling them his past, Kin got up and hugged him, which didn't really surprise him. And I made Kin nice because I like her better like that. Doesn't mean she isn't sadistic when it comes to enemies, but what really surprised Naruto was when Tayuya hugged him with some tears escaping her eyes. "Don't worry shithead, we will be your friends and family if you'll let us." Naruto held in his breath because he never thought he would hear those words from anyone. Tears escaped from Naruto's eyes and he hugged them both, hoping to never lose them no matter what. Flashback ended. Tayuya and Kin decided to ignore Sakura in hopes of her going away, but that went out the door because Sakura decided to follow them. They tried to ignore her, but she was screeching about how sexy Sasuke is and how they were here to just steal him away, which made both Tayuya and Kin want to puke. Sasuke saw Sakura talking to some sound kunoichi and decided to introduce himself since he is the last Uchiha and everyone should know and worship him. Sasuke went up to both Tayuya and Kin with a grin which creeped them out. Sasuke stood in front of them, which made them want to back up, but the pink-haired banshee was behind them. Sasuke then started talking about how he was the last Uchiha and they should be honored to speak to him, which made Tayuya angry every second until she exploded. "Will you shut the fuck up and take your pet banshee with you so we could go and never see you two again?" The banshee was about to start screeching until Sasuke slapped Tayuya across the face, leaving her momentarily stunned. "How dare you sound slut talk to the last Uchiha like that? You should be happy that I consider talking to you, so I will give you a chance for forgiveness." Sasuke then crossed his arms and continued, "I want you bitches to get on your knees and beg to be my personal sluts until I have no use for you. I think it's better than being in a worthless village that has no Uchiha." He ended that with a smug grin which only went away once he found himself crashing through a wall. Naruto stood where Sasuke was standing before, pissed beyond hell, with his demonic red eyes with black slits and fangs, looking where he sent Sasuke flying. Naruto was just livid. He couldn't believe that trash had the nerve to hit Tayuya, who he considered not just a friend but a sister. "Sasuke, if I ever see you touch my family or anyone in my village ever again, I will rip every body part and watch you bleed out," with a satisfied grin. Naruto then motioned Tayuya and Kin to follow him, which they did. He decided to say one more thing, still in his initial Kyuubi state: "You're weak and you'll never beat Itachi. Worthless Uchiha. I promise you, if I see you anywhere near Itachi, I will kill you and make sure you suffer." And with that, Naruto and his group left right when Kakashi and Sai arrived. Tayuya, Naruto and Kin made their way to Naruto's favorite place to eat when he was still part of Konoha. The silence between them made the walk unbearable, so Kin decided to ask Naruto a question. "So Naruto, what did the Hokage want with you and Orochimaru?" Kin waited for an answer for about a minute until she thought that it might be something that he couldn't talk about, so she said, "It's okay Naruto, you don't have to tell us if it is too private." Naruto just shook his head and turned around with a smile on his face. "I was thinking about how good it felt to punch Sasuke in his smug face. I would never keep secrets from my family." Naruto then started telling them why the Hokage wanted to speak to him and Orochimaru. Flashback, Hokage's office. Naruto and Orochimaru were standing in front of the Hokage while Natsuki decided to take a seat in one of the chairs to the side. Sarutobi then got up from his seat and walked in front of Naruto. Nothing was happening until Sarutobi brought Naruto into a hug. I missed you, my boy. It felt lonely without the bright sunshine that you brought everywhere. Naruto smiled and some tears escaped his eyes. I missed you too, Ojiazan. Orochimaru was happy to hear that Naruto still had people to care for him in this hellhole, but even if the Hokage asks Naruto to come back, she will never let him go. Orochimaru saw the Hokage finally let go of Naruto and looked at her. He asked Orochimaru to drop the genjutsu, which she happily did because that would mean she can hug Naruto all she wanted without him feeling weird. Once Orochimaru dropped the genjutsu, Sarutobi had to pick up his jaw from the ground because he was looking at an extremely attractive woman. He noticed that her golden yellow eyes with black slits now have a look of mischievousness and playfulness instead of the usual hatred and seriousness that her male form shows. The Hokage couldn't help but get a nosebleed from seeing her smile. Orochimaru saw that and smiled. Orochimaru decided to play around a bit as she said, "Sorry Hokage-sama, you can look but can't touch. Only my Naruto gets the pleasure of doing that." After she finished saying that, she went behind Naruto and hugged him from behind, smothering his broad back with her chest intentionally to get Naruto riled up. Sarutobi only had one thing to say to the display in front of him, "Naruto, you lucky bastard." Naruto only smiled and answered, "Yes, that I am." Flashback end. Naruto then told Tayuya that they just talked about how his life was going and how happy he was being in Otogakure. Tayuya and Kin were both happy to hear that the Hokage considered Naruto like his grandchild and were happy to hear how much he cared for Naruto's well-being. Tayuya decided to ask about Orochimaru and where he was. "Naruto, what happened to Orochimaru?" Naruto didn't tell them that Orochimaru was female in the flashback. Naruto answered, "I don't know. The Hokage decided to talk to him and the Hokage told me I can go since he wanted to speak to Orochimaru in private." Both Tayuya and Kin nodded, and Kin saw Tayuya wanted to say something and she had a suspicion on what it was, but she probably felt out of character if she said something mushy. Kin sighed and grabbed Naruto's hand. "Don't worry Naruto, we in Otogakure are your new home and we will never let someone hurt you again." Naruto smiled and just squeezed her hand while Tayuya had a smile on her face. It took a couple of minutes, but they finally arrived at Ichiraku's ramen, which Naruto could smell thanks to his extra sensitive sense of smell after becoming the second Kyuubi. The smell to Naruto alone was agonizing because he hasn't had this since he left Konoha. Both Tayuya and Kin saw his happy drooling face and both couldn't keep themselves from laughing, which caused Naruto to blush in embarrassment and wipe the drool away while at the same time leading them inside to get some ramen. Hokage's office. Orochimaru decided to take a seat after Naruto left to discuss some issues with the Hokage. She looked around just to double check if there are any root anbu still hidden. After her little inspection, the Hokage decided to ask Orochimaru a question. "Orochimaru, I'm happy that you have found happiness and I hope Naruto returns to Konoha." Sarutobi was about to continue, but the hissing of Orochimaru's snakes and her angry glare stopped the discussion from continuing. "But I see that Naruto is happy and leave it as that." "Orochimaru, how are you doing?" Sarutobi felt weird asking that question since he is the one that basically kicked her out of Konoha after getting a report from Danzo. Orochimaru smiled at that question and answered, "Well Hokage-sama." The Hokage noticed the obvious venom in the way she said, "Hokage-sama." She continued, "It's funny that you would ask that since 2 years ago I was planning to destroy Konoha and kidnap Sasuke Uchiha and get his Sharingan." She sighed and decided to continue before the old man asked questions, but like all things, some have to fail and Naruto came into the picture right when my hate for this village was hitting its limits. At first I thought of using his circumstances to my advantage since he never got any love from anyone and I thought I could manipulate him easily. She saw Sarutobi have a frown on his face and some killing intent was seeping out of him. Orochimaru ignored it and continued, "It's funny, at first I just faked all the kindness I sent his way and I could tell that he knew it from the beginning but never said anything about it because he was for some reason happy just being with me. I started to develop strong feeling for him which I never understood. I tried to hide the feelings and work on my projects. I remember one time he asked me what I was working on and I answered him honestly, and it was the biggest mistake because I felt my heart pretty much shatter that day. The Hokage was surprised to hear that Orochimaru felt bad but decided to ask, "What did you say to Naruto?" She gave a sad smile and explained it to him. Flashback. Naruto wanted to go and find Orochimaru to see if he could help her with anything. He still wanted to know why Orochimaru has been so distant lately, and Naruto would have asked, but he was too scared that she might become angry and start hating her like all the people in Konoha. Naruto found Orochimaru in her lab, which she usually told him to stay out of since she didn't trust him enough to let him know her secrets besides her actual gender. Naruto decided not to beat around the bush and ask Orochimaru straight up if he could help with anything. "Orochimaru-sama, do you need any help?" She turned around and saw Naruto standing nervously. She sighed and then got a great idea since she needed someone to test out her poisons, and who better than a Jinchuriki. Naruto saw her walk up to him with a needle with a green-looking liquid inside the tube. He wanted to ask her what that is but knew she wouldn't give him an answer. Orochimaru saw the hurt on his face but didn't really care much for it. "How about I release my genjutsu, to show you that I only trust you with my secret and you let me see how effective this experimental poison is?" Naruto hesitated, which he knew was a bad idea because the next thing that Orochimaru said really hurt him. "If you're just going to stand there and not give me an answer, then I don't need you. Your only use was to get experimented on and you're even too useless for that." The last part she whispered, but with Naruto's sensitive hearing he caught what she said and it only made his heart crack even more. He just nodded and walked away while whispering, "I'm sorry for being useless," and just like that he went out the door. Flashback interrupted. Sarutobi, to say the least, was furious. "You do know that you made Naruto feel useless, which I can tell is the one thing he never wanted to be to you." Orochimaru looked down in shame but still had to tell him about the time she actually broke the love that Naruto had for her. "Look, I know I am not even worth being in Naruto's radiant presence. I still can't believe to this day that he forgave me and chose to still love me even though I only monopolized on his emotions at the beginning." She sighed and decided to tell the Hokage the worst part of probably Naruto's life. Flashback continue. 1 month timeskip. Orochimaru was standing next to Kabuto with Naruto sitting in a chair with a smile on his face, but if you looked closely enough you could tell that Naruto's happy demeanor is just like glass that is waiting to shatter. Orochimaru was discussing her plans on how they were going to take down Konoha with using Naruto as leeway against the Hokage. Naruto wanted to argue that he didn't want to hurt the old man, but the relationship between Naruto and Orochimaru has been going downhill since the incident in the lab, and knows she treats him like any other random shinobi that works under her, but even with that Naruto always convinced himself that it was better than what it actually was. Naruto started to notice the change in Orochimaru because she was either constantly talking about destroying Konoha or getting Sasuke Uchiha. Destroying Konoha was something Naruto could deal with, since if he helped then maybe Orochimaru might start at least showing some affection or maybe just a simple hug. But when she constantly talked about getting Sasuke and the Sharingan, it just made his heart hurt each time, especially when she got the reports on his progress and then compared it to Naruto's. She always ended up saying, "Why can't you be more like Sasuke with his legendary Sharingan?" which Naruto found funny the first time since his progress was better than Sasuke's. The first time he pointed that out he ended up being punched in the face by Orochimaru, and with her saying, "You might be doing good but this is as far as your training with me will go since you seem to think you're something special. Well, you're not. The only reason you have any potential is because of the fox, and without it I would have probably just killed you that day or simply threw you away when you lost meaning. Be grateful that I allow you stay here." Those words hurt Naruto so much. Everyone in Konoha pretty much treated Sasuke as a god and him as trash, and Naruto thought going with Orochimaru might have changed that, but it seems it's just the same. Naruto sighed at the memory that flashed through his head, and saw Orochimaru look at him with a smile. Naruto for some reason started getting hope that maybe Orochimaru might still hold some meaning in his existence. Orochimaru told Kabuto that he may leave and motioned Naruto to come over near her. She waited for Kabuto to leave and decided to lock the door for safe measures. Naruto at the same time was slightly nervous since he didn't know what she wanted and all he could hope for was something that would show that she still cared for him even if it is only her telling him that he did a good job. Orochimaru sat next to Naruto on the makeshift couch and started talking about her plan. Okay Naruto, I'm going to send you to do the Chunin exams with 2 others while I'll be disguised. I want you to find Sasuke and take him down and kidnap him. I have been training you for this moment. Naruto's hair shadowed his eyes and Orochimaru saw that he wasn't paying attention. She was going to tell him the plan again but she got stopped by a no from Naruto. Orochimaru narrowed her eyes and asked, "What do you mean no, Uzumaki?" Naruto felt the sting of her not even calling him by his first name but he decided to continue. Why do you want Sasuke? Why does everyone want him? I want to be of use to you Orochimaru-sama. Please I can be his replacement. I will train even harder. I won't ask for anything else just don't throw me away. Orochimaru sighed and said, Naruto, I can't take over your body because you're not strong enough and you don't have the Sharingan. I need you to get Sasuke and then someone is going to pick him up at the front gate while you hold off the Anbu. Naruto couldn't believe what he was hearing. She pretty much is telling him that after getting Sasuke that he should just get killed or even worse tortured. Naruto just sat there in silence with a dead look in his eyes because his mind and heart couldn't take that the one person that might have cared for him is throwing him away for someone else. Naruto looked at her with his dead eyes and said, if that's what Orochimaru-sama desires then I will make sure not to talk when they torture me. Orochimaru looked confused and she looked into his face and right away realized her mistake. Wait, Naruto, I didn't mean I wanted you to get captured. Naruto gave her a dead smile and said, well I'm Chunin level at best so there's no way I can handle any Anbus, and I don't have Sasuke's skill so I guess I'm pretty useless to you. Naruto then got up and started walking to the door and before he unlocked it to open it, he turned around and looked at her while saying, for what it's worth, I loved you since you saved me from Konoha, and I understand that you probably find me loving you as not worthy or even repulsive since I'm a monster, but for what it's worth I thought maybe you might come to love me too. Naruto then proceeded to walk out of the room leaving Orochimaru without her genjutsu to sit with her yellow with black slit eyes wide open and realizing the horrible things she has done to the one person that stayed by her side even when she treated him so bad. Flashback end. Sarutobi was honestly seething right now. Orochimaru, give me a reason to why I shouldn't just let Danzo have you. Orochimaru was slightly surprised by the aggressiveness of the old Hokage. I learned my lesson. It took me pretty much a whole year to just get him to show emotions again and that still didn't stop him from guarding his emotions against me since I'm the cause of it. She took a breath and continued. I know I don't deserve someone like Naruto in my life. He is like a ray of sunshine that can bring happiness to anyone while I'm just the dark shadow that latches on to him like a leech. But I won't let anyone have him. She then looked the Hokage straight in the eyes and he had recalled from the ki and bloodlust coming from them. Her voice right away turned demonic. I won't let anyone have him. He is mine. I love him and if you even try to take him away from me, I will make sure that everyone in this village will die while I watch them suffer. She then gave him a smile and continued, and don't worry I learned a pretty hard lesson after Natsuki was released. The old Hokage smiled and said, please take care of Naruto and I will give you both my best wishes. Orochimaru gave him a wicked smile. Oh don't worry I will take care of every part of him. I won't let anyone have him and I can't wait to corrupt that innocence. Hiruzen Sarutobi sat in his office going over what he discussed with Orochimaru and couldn't help but chuckle. Naruto can help anyone reach the light when he is involved, he quietly whispered. Sarutobi didn't have much time to linger to his thoughts since a flaming blast appeared in his office and out of it stood a woman wearing a beautiful red kimono with 9 orange tails with red tips swishing around. She also had flowing red hair which slightly reminded Sarutobi of Kushina but then he noticed the 2 fox ears on top of her head which watched the color of her tails. Sarutobi was on guard until he realized that the person in front of him was the Kyuubi and since Naruto trusted and loved her, he could trust her as well. The third Hokage sighed and asked, what can I help you with miss? He just realized that Naruto never told him her name which got him an embarrassed chuckle which didn't go unnoticed by the woman in the room. The woman smiled at the grandfather figure that Naruto had in Konoha, But then her look got serious and she answered, "Since my mate cares about you, I will allow you to call me Natsuki. We have some things to discuss, Sarutobi." Sarutobi sighed again because he slightly guessed what this discussion was going to be about. The Hokage then asked her if it was about Naruto's heritage and she nodded her head. Natsuki walked up to his desk and asked him, "When are you going to tell him who his parents are?" Sarutobi answered, "I will tell him after the Junin exams. If I tell him right now he might not be able to concentrate on the exams." She scoffed at his attempt to justify his reason in not telling him. "Why not just tell him now? He has a right to now since you kept it away from him all his life." Sarutobi tried to reason with her, but Iwa. Natsuki growled, "I don't give a shit about Iwa. I could destroy them easily and if I had my way I would have destroyed this place as well, but Naruto still had some precious people here and I would never hurt my mate no matter what." The Hokage was taken back by that statement because even though Naruto assured him the Kyuubi was not evil, he still had his doubts. Right when she got in his face, the Hokage saw her for a new light and not the terrible monster that they thought she was the whole time, but instead as a person that has feelings and emotions like anybody else. Sarutobi couldn't deny her claim about destroying Iwa, and with how Konoha treated Naruto, he is surprised she hasn't killed anyone yet. She decided to go back on topic. Natsuki got calm again and asked the aging Hokage for Naruto's actual birth document. The Hokage sighed, which he noticed that he has been doing a lot of, and stood up to go in front of the fourth Hokage's picture and opened a secret compartment that held Naruto's documents. Sarutobi sat down in his chair and presented the documents to Natsuki, who took them and looked over them while the Hokage just watched her do that. She then placed the documents down and looked at the Hokage with a questioning gaze and decided to ask, "How are you planning to tell your citizens that Naruto is the fourth son and not have them screaming for his execution for lying?" Sarutobi smiled and answered, "Well, the documents themselves are proof and we have the blood samples, and if that somehow doesn't help, my word is still law." Natsuki all of a sudden started laughing, which confused the old Hokage since he didn't get what was funny. After Natsuki calmed down from her laughing, she decided to tell the authoritative Hokage what was so funny. "You really think your citizens and or shinobi kunoichi would listen to you about anything involving Naruto?" Sarutobi slightly grimaced at the truth that was presented before him, but still tried to show that he was in control. "If asking them won't work, then I will make them or execute them for treason." Natsuki tried to hold in her laugh on how the Hokage would control the situation. "You really think that your laws or threats would get through your idiotic people?" For every minute Natsuki spoke, her voice carried more of a demonic approach and begun to get angrier each passing second. Sarutobi frowned and answered, "They have helped the boy in the past." That statement didn't seem like a good idea to say, since right when it came out of the Hokage's mouth, Natsuki slammed both her hand on his desk, breaking the desk, and startling the old Hokage. The rage in Natsuki's eyes was evident, and the swirling red chakra just added to the effect. "Now you listen here," she said with her demonic voice. "The trash that you call people in your village are the most disgusting humans I have seen by far. Your laws are only on paper that your council uses to wipe their own asses after torturing the poor boy. Don't give me that crap about your laws helping him. Have you forgotten that I was sealed inside Naruto and saw all the inhumane acts that our so-called villagers did? The loneliness he had to face every day, and pretty much the only human contact he would have, were the beating he received." Sarutobi bristled with anger and stood up, trying to intimidate the Kyuubi. Sarutobi spoke with great anger in his voice. "How dare you call the great citizens of this village trash? Sure, the acts are deplorable, but they would have changed their hearts soon. The will of Phi." He didn't get to finish because Natsuki grabbed Sarutobi by the neck and spoke with what would be rage but with a hint of sadness. "Do not finish that load of bullshit that you call the will of fire." Natsuki took a breath and continued, "The will of fire is a saying you use to flaunt to the other villages on how strong this oh so peaceful villages is, but under all that crap, you people are as evil and manipulative as Orochimaru was back then." Natsuki then started having tears coming out of her beautiful demonic red eyes with black slits. "I regret every day what happened to Naruto-kun. I always apologize no matter how much he tells me that it's not my fault, and Sarutobi, I know you see what your village is becoming. She dropped the Hokage, who in question had a contemplative look on his face. Natsuki waited for his answer, which came in a form of a sigh, and then he stood up and started speaking. Yes, you're right, I was just a fool thinking that the people would look at Naruto, as well Naruto and not the Kyuubi. I knew the civilian council are pretty much dictating everything. I knew the elders were going behind my back making sure Sasuke Uchiha was powerful while Naruto was kept weak. I just wanted them to realize their own follies. Sarutobi took a breath while having tears coming out of his eyes and then continued, I never wanted Naruto to suffer, he is like a grandson to me. I tried helping him, but each time I was undermined and overruled. Sarutobi got a new look of determination. Well, not anymore. This is a dictatorship and I am the Hokage. My word is law and anybody that disobeyed it now will be executed. Natsuki smiled at his new determination and they both decided to crack open a sake bottle to the new Sarutobi Hiruzen, or the return of the god of shinobi. Ichiraku's ramen. Naruto, Kin and Tayuya arrived to Ichiraku's ramen and both Kin and Tayuya could see the smile on Naruto's face. Naruto started having tears coming out of his eyes. Tsukijiji, Ayame Nichan. Naruto waited for a minute, until he heard shouting, if this is another joke about Naruto leaving, I will report you to the Hokage and ban you from my shop. Right when Tsuki said that, he came out and froze when he saw Naruto right in front of him. Ayame walked out, what's the matter, Otosan? But then she saw where he was looking and got angry. How dare you disguise yourself as Naruto, you sick bastards. Naruto shook his head and pointed at his headband. I'm part of Odo now, Ayame Nichan. Ayame started having tears coming out of her eyes and ran up to Naruto and hugged him. I missed you, Ototo. Tsuki was next up right after his daughter and hugged Naruto. Both Tayuya and Kin saw how loved he was by the Ichiraku duo. The love-in reunion would have kept going if it weren't for some Anbu arriving. Uzumaki-san, Hokage and the council asked for your summons. Naruto sighed. He knew why the civilian council wanted him for hurting their precious Uchiha, but he was wondering why Hokage Jiji wanted him. Naruto got a devilish smile on his face and asked the Anbu, would you like to walk there? The Anbu thought about it and smiled behind his mask and answered, of course Uzumaki-san. Hokage's office. Sarutobi sat patiently at his desk while having a calm discussion with Natsuki and Orochimaru. So Orochimaru, how is being the cage of Odogakur treating you? Orochimaru thought about it and gave him her snake smile, which looked ominous on the male Orochimaru. The paperwork is annoying and I got Naruto to tell me his secret to defeating such a formidable enemy. The aging Kage all of a sudden begged, please tell me such a sacred secret. Orochimaru smiled and answered, sorry old man, but you'll have to ask Naruto since I promised not to tell anyone. Sarutobi thought about it but then had to ask, wait, who is doing the paperwork at your village, or are you using that sacred technique that Naruto taught you? Orochimaru smiled and said one name, Kabuto. Odogakur. Kabuto was in the middle of completing a giant stack of paperwork while Orochimaru was on leave for the Junin exams. Damn it, Orochimaru-sama, why am I stuck doing this? Why couldn't you just torture me instead? While he was in thought, he didn't notice the one stack he was on just grow 5 times more, and right when he went back to work he saw the stack and yelled, damn you Orochimaru-sama. Hokage's office. The civilian council on the other hand were both angry with the demon brat for making them wait and scared of the woman with the 9 orange tails with red tips and the fox ears. To some they thought it was just part of the outfit, but to others they knew deep down that it was the Kyuubi, but didn't voice it out that the woman in front of them was the 9 tails waiting to kill all the good civilians that have been mistreating its spawn. Orochimaru couldn't help but grin at the civilians' council that looked like they were about to shit themselves. Finally, after 10 minutes, Naruto and some of the Anbu arrive, and the first thing he gets is a fat civilian council man yelling about demon spawns and keeping the almighty council waiting. Well, let's just say his opinion was duly noted and a red chakra claw came out of his throat and the blood splattered on some of the other civilians. The pink-haired banshee took that time to finally make her banshee voice known. That demon just killed a civilian, Sarutobi. Kill the demon, hurry before it escapes. Everyone had to cover their ears because of the high-volume screeching that came out of that pink thing. Sarutobi slammed his fist down on his desk and spoke with a defining voice, "You will call me Hokage-sama and show me the respect I deserve." Mebuki Haruno, your opinion about demons is noted and tossed out the door. Sarutobi sat back down and continued, "If the civilian council can't behave, then they will be kicked out. You all should be glad I'm letting you stay here since this is a shinobi matter." Sarutobi then pointed at the woman with the Anbu mask that says Kui note on the top of the mask, but what really stood out are the 9 magnificent tails and the 2 fox ears. Sarutobi let them all take a minute until he spoke again. "As you see here, this beautiful young lady is the Kyuubi no Kitsune." Before Sarutobi could continue, a fat civilian council member stood up and yelled, "Impossible. The most powerful creature on earth, the Kyuubi no Kitsune, can't be a woman." Most of the women were glaring at him. Even though the thought of the great and powerful Kyuubi was in front of them was terrifying, most of the women were dancing in joy inside that the most powerful Biju was a woman. I say most women because you all know the one with blonde hair that screams a lot and hates Naruto, well actually 2 since it has a pink-haired daughter. Sarutobi signaled his Anbu and the next thing they saw was a headless male civilian. While the civilian council were screaming and crapping their pants, the shinobi council saw nothing wrong with what the Hokage did since that civilian insulted a foreign kunoichi which could lead to war, and they did not want to go to war with the mighty Kyuubi no Kitsune. Sarutobi waited until all the screaming was gone and started speaking. "Mebuki Haruno, you got a warning and that was the only warning. I will not stand this shit any longer. Your disrespect and foolhardiness will lead us to war with Otogakure." An arrogant civilian council member stood up and yelled, "Why should we care? They are weak compared to our great village." Sarutobi signaled his Anbu right away and they executed the ignorant but yet arrogant villager right away. The other civilian council members became pale since that the third member that was killed. The shinobi council couldn't help but chuckle and the elder council paled at Sarutobi's newfound determination, especially Danzo. Natsuki chuckled behind her mask and went behind Naruto and wrapped her arms around his neck, which by process she pushed her breasts onto his back and rested her chin on his spiky yet soft hair. Natsuki is taller than Naruto. Naruto is about 5 feet 8 and Natsuki is 6 feet, this caused Naruto to have a serious blush on his face. Orochimaru saw the snuggling that Natsuki was doing with Naruto and wished she could do it too, but right now it's not possible, he sighed. Sarutobi saw the red face that Naruto had while Miss Natsuki was hugging him from behind and he started having some blood coming out of his nose and a perverted laugh escaped his mouth which didn't get unnoticed by everyone. Sarutobi noticed that everyone was looking at him and he had to cough in his hand twice and put back on his serious face. Sarutobi decided to get back on topic. "Now I know that the shinobi and kunoichi in this room know why I had that civilian executed, but I'll humor the council and explain it." He looked around and saw the somewhat interested looks on the elders' faces except for Danzo's, and the civilians looked confused. Sarutobi sighed and decided to start with a question. "What is the difference between Konoha and Oto?" Sarutobi looked around, but he knew that the shinobi council knew the main difference. The Hokage expectantly looked at the civilians for their input for once. "Well?" he asked. The civilians looked at each other as to see if someone knew. Miss Ruka decided to answer. "The size of our village is larger. We had legendary shinobi come from this village which makes our enemies weary and the alliances with other villages." Naruto looked at the middle-aged woman and waved at her and she gave him a wave back in a smile. Sarutobi smiled seeing that Naruto still remembered Miss Ruka. "Yes, very nice explanation." The Hokage clapped his hands and soon the shinobi council joined in while the civilians were just glaring and elders didn't really care. Sarutobi then glared at the civilian council making them flinch. "Now I know none of you knew the answer, and the funny thing is that you all try to take control of shinobi matters while having no idea the extent that our decisions do." The Hokage smiled and said, "Even though Miss Ruka gave some good points, she wasn't completely correct. Sure, we have a bigger village and alliances matter and legendary shinobi come from our village, but we also have a large economy while our military standard has went down because of some people." Sarutobi looked at the civilian council accusingly, which made them look down. Sarutobi then stopped glaring at the civilians and continued, "You would think all that would matter, but no it doesn't. A Jinchuriki is a big portion of military power and we had the strongest one. Otogakure has Naruto and the Kyuubi who is free to roam around. She alone can destroy this village and the only reason that would happen is because of the trash in this village that she calls the civilians and shinobi kunoichi. The Hokage then looked at Orochimaru and she gave him a distinct nod of approval and Sarutobi smiled. Sarutobi gave Orochimaru the floor and she started speaking. As you all know, I was kicked out of the Hidden Leaf village after Sarutobi found out about my experiments. She sighed and then continued, and I have to say that I was angry to the point of wanting to destroy this village and make everyone suffer, but because of the foolish idiocy this village has shown, I will have to thank you. After she said that everyone looked confused because at one moment Orochimaru was mocking them and then thanking them. Orochimaru saw all the confused faces and decided to alliterate. Before I tell you all the reason I'm going to reveal something about myself that nobody not even the Hokage knew. Everyone was looking on with anticipation and all of a sudden they saw an explosion of smoke and instead of Orochimaru stood a gorgeous goddess with smooth pale skin and black hair. They all wondered where Orochimaru went but it didn't take them long to realize that the person there was Orochimaru since the snake-like eyes were the clear identification. As you all see I am female not male. Now the reason why I changed my mind about destroying this pathetic village is, hey this mighty village isn't pathetic you snake whore. Yelled a furious civilian. Naruto heard him insult his snake Hime and he summoned a poisonous snake. The next thing the villager knew was that he was in great amount of pain and screaming except no sound was coming out of his mouth. The civilian council wanted to shout for the death of the demon brat but one look from the enraged Hokage stopped them in their tracks. The Hokage stood up and slammed both of his hands on the desk and with the amount of chakra he was emitting everyone besides Naruto, Natsuki and Orochimaru were feeling the effects. I will not stand this shit any longer. You all have 2 minutes to leave before I start executing all of you for treason. I find your outburst offensive to our honorary guests and by the look of it you all want a war with the snake Sannin. Kyuubi and the demon of the sound. The Hokage saw the shinobi council paling at the last name since they already knew the first two. The Hokage decided to give out some more information who they got rid of and to just scare them. Yes, young Naruto here who right now is just a Chunin is a S-class shinobi. He defeated 2 Akatsuki members with the help of Orochimaru of course but that is quite a feat by itself and not just that he saved the Jinchuriki of Nibi from said Akatsuki members which I heard from Jiraiya. So it won't be just Otogakure that we would be facing it would also be Kumogakure. The civilian council was kicked out by force since they wanted to undermine the Hokage's authority again except for Miss Ruka, so that just left the elders and shinobi council and Miss Ruka who was allowed to stay since Naruto insisted on it. The Hokage coughed to get everyone's attention and motioned for Orochimaru to continue which she happily did. Now as I was saying, the reason I thanked you, well mostly the civilian council was because they are the reason that I got to meet my wonderful husband, mate Naruto. The elders and shinobi council gasped while the Hokage and the Nine Tails were smiling and were happy for Orochimaru. Before anybody could speak up the Hokage stood up and motioned for Natsuki to stand by the door. Now I know you all have questions but I have a serious question as well. Everyone waited for the Hokage's question in anticipation. Why do you continue to defy my command? Sarutobi growled out. While he knew who defied his command he didn't want that person to try to do anything until he had them in chains. Sarutobi breathed out and told the council the orders that he gave out. I said that Orochimaru is welcome here for the Junin exams and is not to be attacked. And you know what happened, she got attacked and lost some shinobi. That alone should be reason enough for her to go to war with us. The shinobi council were lightly sweating at that thought while the elders looked worried, but Danzo stood out the most since he was acting the calmest trying to make it seem like he had nothing to do with it even though the Hokage already knows that he is the culprit. The Hokage then smiled which made some of the council members sweat drop and some others start to become nervous in their seats. The Hokage looked at Orochimaru and said, as of right now I give full authority to the Otokage to exact the punishment that is due for my negligence. Right when he finished saying that, Orochimaru gave a signal and Danzo was on his knees in front of her with Natsuki and her clone on each side of him. Her chakra was slowly seeping out and everyone could feel the malicious evil chakra just daring for someone to help Danzo. Danzo had it worst since he was in ground zero of that chakra and he could literally see his death coming. He thought about using the Sharingans in his arms, but the Kyuubi's chakra complicated that problem by forcibly shutting them all and pretty much destroying them with her corrupted chakra. Danzo knew he was dead the moment none of his root came to help him, and he wanted to say something that might sway the Hokage's decision, but that chance never came because Orochimaru gave Natsuki the signal and she beheaded Danzo right in front of the council.